Lana Crosby is not here yet, and she will take good care of the baby. So if you belong to class, you will meet Lana Crosby tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock in room 4 in the back. Now, each presenter will have 2.5 minutes to talk. 2.5 minutes. And we have C.
Hello. Oops, that's really in my eyes. Sorry, that's way too bright. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the ASL students. Hooray, I'm happy you're here. I am Z. Move over here. I'm Z Astone, and please call me Zanita. Zanita, okay? I'm not going by Z anymore. I will be teaching 3 classes for beginners. And the topics are, the title of the first one is The Measure of ASL, Part 1, where we're going to talk about the parameters. I'm going to go into detail about each one of the parameters and so on. I want to let you know that I recently learned something that was very interesting about a specific word. The word, will you show that word, Mike? I guess the computer doesn't like me. And time is running out. Oh my gosh, hurry, hurry, hurry. Mike, come on. I'll spell it for you. Forget it. I can't even spell the word. It's huge. And also, it's very hard to pronounce. So, sorry. That's why you have to look at it. That's okay. The word, it's here. Oh, I don't have it here. Oh, yeah, the word is on the phone. The word is HIPPOPATOMONTROSPEDILIAOPHIA. Aliphobia is the last part, and hippo is the first. So what does that mean? It means fear of gigantic words. So don't worry. The best solution for that is ASL, hand speak. That's going to help you to break down the barriers of your thought process and seeing those great big words and being afraid of them. When you learn sign, you know what to do. You'll be so at peace, your mind will be at rest, and you'll be fluent. Woo-hoo! See you in class tomorrow. Bye. Sorry that I messed up the technology.
This is what you call old school. In 1980, when Silent Weekend began, I was not aware of Silent Weekend, and in 1981, I couldn't come. I had a conflict. Oh, it's a small little thing. Maybe I ought to go, maybe I shouldn't go. And I learned sign language basically first by interaction with deaf people in a small little class, and then workshops. And so that's the way I teach sign language. And so in my workshops, we're not going to use a lot of big jargon. We're going to use a lot of practical examples. Because that's not there, I'll go ahead and read these to you. I'll be doing advanced. Are you a barbarian? We'll be talking about Bible words barbarians used in the Bible, and what does that mean? You Google barbarian, you get a lot of weird things. Just tell you that. Interpreting emotional content, and that will deal with the impact of a message that is not just in the words that are said, but in how it's said. We'll interpret some famous people on that. And then interpreting psalms and hymns and spiritual songs. It's about church music, and indeed we'll just do that. Interpret some songs and learn some principles on how to do that. Look, Ma, no hands is for beginners. And we'll be doing expressing signs and concepts and ideas without our hands. And learn how to do all of that. Again, for beginners, and then also intermediates. Remember where you put it. It talks about how to use space in sign language. And then experiencing deaf culture. This will be an opportunity to take for a person we'll divide up into groups of 3, and one of the people will be deaf, at least for a few moments there, and you'll get to experience a situation as a deaf person. We're going to try this and see how that works this year. And looking forward to having you in the class. Y'all come. Thank you.
Good job.
Sorry about the technical problem. Anyway, I'm going to be teaching the beginner class on Saturday from 8 to 10 called ASL Demystified, because I remember the confusion when I took AS classificalities and the things I learned in the book. I did not see the students sign like that. So I had to try to give you a simple formula of how to put ASL session together. So Saturday 8 to 12, I will give you a formula to visualize how you put it together, noun and verb. And we have Paul Jones,
This light. Okay, my name is Paul Jones. I'm deaf. I come from 4 generations of deaf family. Still, and my granddaughter's in school. So tomorrow morning, from 10:30 to 12:30, I will be talking about law enforcement. I just graduated studying law enforcement myself, and I really enjoyed it. And tomorrow morning, I'm going to be talking about the deaf perspective of how a lot of things get messed up in communication with law enforcement, and then on the opposite end, how the police officers deal with what is termed as a problem, and all the terms that go through that. A good example of that is if a deaf person is driving, they get pulled over, the police come over and they see, oh, I'm deaf and we need a ride, and they grab something and they look back and the police already have a gun pulled at them. And, oh man, that's a nice gun. I have one too, let me show you mine. And then it's over for them. So next, 4:30 to 6:30, we're going to be talking about just the 200 years of interpreting and the influence that the evolvement of deaf people, not just from the interpreting view, you know, like back in the day, we used to use our children as interpreters, and now there's a certified interpreter, and just see the difference in that 200-year span. Saturday morning, I'm talking about parables and miracles, and just in terms of the Bible through the New Testament. And, you know, with interpreting, you know, you say, hey, the deaf people are asleep while they're in church while I'm up here interpreting, and how to get their attention. I suggest a water gun. I think it's great, or you could just throw something at them to get their attention. Like, man, do they need coffee? I've already had 5 cups of coffee. You're boring. I'm a boring interpreter. I quit. We don't want that to happen. We just want to give you some good tips on how to stay involved and keep the excitement in that. And as an interpreter, you can't use that or these keys. Maybe not this outfit, but we hope to see you there. Love you guys.
Bethany is not here tonight, so I'm going to show you a video. If you look on page 17.
Hi everybody, my name is Bethany Gaiman. This is my sign name. I'm so excited to be with you guys and meet with you guys and just discuss some things about sexuality. How often do we have this opportunity to actually sit down and discuss it through the interpreting lens about sexuality? It's not that often, so I'm looking forward to that and really thankful for the opportunity to come and just looking forward to the opportunity to being vulnerable and really diving into the world of sexuality. I've been teaching this for 6+ years. Not only am I working with interpreters, but I'm also working within the deaf community, and I've really enjoyed it. Right now I work at the Family Tree Clinic in St. Paul in Minnesota, and I've really enjoyed it so far, but really there's a lot of work in recognizing all of the absences of sexuality that are in the deaf and hard of hearing world and the deaf blind, and there's just a lack there. So it's just really diving into that. One of my goals is to just show awareness in the interpreting world about sexuality. We often feel uncomfortable, and I don't blame you for that. The ITP programs across the United States technically do not really have a lot of classes on sexuality and the signs for them. Sexuality is not only what's going on in the bedroom. That's not true. It's some of it's for our identity, how the world perceives our sexual identity, how we conversate with other people, how people perceive us, just all of that system. It can get really deep. So I'm really excited to talking with you guys. Thank you, and I'll see you soon. Where's Nigel?
Hello, I'm Nigel. I'm from Vancouver, Canada. Very happy to be here. I think this is my 5th, but I'm not sure. Anyway, am I right? Is this my 5th year? Oh, I don't know. Who can count? Anyway, I am deaf, and I've been involved in the interpreting field for many years, and I do international sign language and interpret it in international conferences. I also knew British and Japanese sign language, and I know a lot of different languages from all over the world. So signing, how does ASL fit with the court system? How do we make sure that we use the right language, fitting our language with the background of the individual that's deaf? And what about the Miranda, and how do we sign that appropriately? And we can't sign it in English. You know that we need to use the language that's most well understood by the client. So we need to talk about that, how the legal system works, and maybe what some terms mean. And abuse, for example, that word, you might sign it this way, but no, if you look at what it really means, it could be verbal, it could be mental, it could be physical, it could be emotional. So using that one sign doesn't fit everyone. We have to use expansion in order to explain what's meant by that particular word in English. Then we're going to talk about organs, reproductive health, in the reproductive health setting. So physical parts of our bodies, and we're not going to be signing in English, we're going to be using ASL. The last one is deafhood. And deaf culture, what's that all about? And the deaf journey, and how do you get to be your identity? How is that formed? How is it developed? Some people are in a deaf family and they've already got that identity. Some people, even though they're there, maybe they don't have their deaf identity. So, and later in life, what's going to be happening? Maybe they go to a deaf school, they then figure out who they are, where they fit. So all of those kinds of things, a little bit of history will be thrown in there. So that's briefly what I'm going to be doing. So see you tomorrow and the next day and maybe the next. So remember, I'm an early bird, so 8 o'clock, everybody get up on time.
year, I am doing a couple of workshops that is kind of dear to my heart. And so the 2 workshops that I'll be doing, oh, by the way, let me introduce myself. I'm Clarence Industrious, I'm from the Virgin Islands. I think this is my 5th year. The first couple of years I was. I have an accent, you don't understand me. That you guys understand. The first workshop that I'm going to be doing is Poles Apart. It's a workshop that I developed a couple of years ago because of having to find mentors, having to team with other interpreters that are flat out very different than I am, very different than I am. The way that they approach the work is different. So how do you go about, what constitutes a good team? How do you go about choosing a good mentor? Those are the kind of things that we're going to be looking at. One of the main things that we're going to be doing in that class is looking at personalities. Not everybody should be mentoring. There's a lot of work out there that we do alone, but there are times when we are called upon to work with others. And I'll be honest, traditionally, we don't play well together. We just don't. And so we're going to be looking at, I need a mentor for this. Well, how do I go about choosing that person? If they're a lion personality and I'm a beaver personality, it's not going to be pretty. The fur is going to fly. So we just really want, that's what I want to be looking at. How do I choose mentors? How do I go about, what do I look for in a mentor? And then the other workshop is interpreting scripture. Just last night, my sister came up to me. She says, Clarence, I've been saved a long time and so forth, but what does it mean in the Bible when it says, in the beginning, God created, let us create man, and God created, who's the us in there? There's too many people in that verse. And that's my sister. So if she didn't get it, and she is turning 60 in 2 months, there's a lot of deaf people that are sitting on our pews that are not getting it. And so we're going to be looking at interpreting scripture from a historical, a geographical, a language, a plot sort of an approach, a hermeneutical sort of an approach, and just looking at some of the difficult things. But I've never seen a great sign for I am. It's time. I always run out on time. We're going to be looking at interpreting scripture. Come.
I'm not even Kania. There's an understatement. Okay. Aiden, his flight was delayed, but he did send a message to you. And he says, hi, I'm Aiden Kania. I'll be doing 3 presentations, the UN, the EU, and the US, friends and foes. They're all going to be up here. I'm not going to read you the rest of the message because that's what it says. It says, these workshops will help you to understand today's world more accurately, which will help you in the interpreting process. We explore history, religion, war, empires, the U.S. Constitution, and words that confuse interpreters. I hope I will see you at one of my workshops, and I look forward to meeting all the fledglings and signing their books.
Hi, my name is Bill Ross. I'm teaching 3 workshops. I actually taught one, so now I'm only teaching 2. I'm teaching one about ethics, and I'm teaching one about God. Well, not God, but church and God, if you understand. So here's the thing. Mike said something very important. He said, look at the signer. You can't see me signing. So if you want to know what I sound like Wink. So if you're looking for a really good workshop, don't worry, you can find. You can go to his if you want. Never. So one of the about church. I'm sure I'm running out of time. All right, really quick. The second one about turning for God. The church is the last place where conceptually accurate information is not being conveyed. We use the same sign for mercy everywhere we go. We use the same sign for bless everywhere we go. That should not be the case. The ethics workshop is, I'm approaching it from a very different perspective. Ethical problems are not choices between right and wrong. That's a moral temptation. Ethical problems between right and right, and which one is more right. You can actually ask some of the people who went this afternoon, so now you can actually go, hey, how was that? Be there.
I was going to say, some of you know that I work with characters. Needless to say, there is a room full of characters here. My name is Angela Roth, and my workshop is going to be tomorrow night, 9 to 11, so I hope you get lots and lots of chocolate, so you stay away. But we're going to be focusing on artistic interpreting. And it's not just me, believe me, but I do have my team with me, part of my team, and 3 of which are deaf, and they are mentors, they are people who give feedback, they give analysis, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I also have one of the interpreters that bravely did Hamilton with me. There are only 46 songs in Hamilton. I mean, that is it, right? So we're going to be doing 3 just very short ones because they kind of like show what we're doing. And so I really do hope that you come, because I think getting the perspective from those who have to watch it and those that want to work with you as mentors and give you some ideas when you go to a mentor, what you can do about it. A lot of historical perspective too. We will be going back to some of the roots, some of the early works that deaf people had. I just want to take my last, whatever 30 seconds, minute I have left, to say I would be remiss if I did not say, in my experience, I have gone to many workshops. I will not say how many years I've been going to workshops. But I have to say, Mike made a comment about ASL being, the best, most beautiful language in the world. I would agree. I consider myself very, very fortunate to be a guest in the deaf world, that they have invited me in, allowed me to be in, and how it's impacted me. But I would also want to say, from all the workshops and conferences that I've been to, I don't think I've seen one that is better prepared, better planned, better explained than what Mike and Maureen do here for silent reading. So hats off, enjoy, it's accessible, it's a beautiful place, y'all are just awesome, and I do hope to see you tomorrow night.
But what are you doing? What are you doing?
That first one was done today. And maybe some of you went today, legal. Come on, Bill got a good Thank you. Saturday, expansion compression. Working on using those techniques, those 7 things that happen in ASL that don't happen in English, and how we can either expand when we go from English to ASL, or how we can compress when we have an ASL statement and we need to put it into English. So we're going to give you some tools, see some examples, you're going to do some practicing, it'll be great. Then on Sunday, we have one that's designed for people who are going to work with people and mentor people who are preparing to take the MIC written. It's also a great workshop for those of you who haven't taken the written or are preparing to take the written or have taken it and going to take it again. It will help you focus on what you need to study in order to be successful with that test. Also, I'll give you an update on what's going to be happening with testing down the road, because that's changing. And then the last is power, privilege, and oppression, and introduction. This is a new area of study that RID is requiring that we all be familiar with and earn CEUs in. So this is going to be an introductory class on what does that mean, what does it look like. Thanks. Okay, thank you. Hey, hello. Oh, you know, doing that is pretty boring, doing that same thing over and over again. You're saying, wait, I want the light. I'm not going to light, but I want that light. So, you know, for many years we've been doing this, hand clapping in the air. So is ASL always the same? Some people are, oh yeah. Maybe for you, maybe you are those who are learning, but those people who've been involved with it know that it modifies, it changes over the years. So this has been going on for how many years do you think we've been using that clapping? It's changed, you know? When you use a round of applause, so come on, try it. Let's get a round of applause. Salt, pepper, ketchup, you know, just spice it up. Come on, that's it. We call that a round of applause. The workshop is for the advanced lesson. The group is called Stepping Out from Signing to Conceptualizing. From just signing to no, I'm going to do it this way. From signing to conceptualizing. Don't take the two, you know, the two gets out of there and we talk about it, we sign it in a different way to convey that meaning. So the point is that, maybe would you like to hear a funny story? What is up? How do you sign that? What is up? What's up? What is up? Okay, yeah. What about, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? How do you do that? Okay. That's good. How about more? What about, what's up? Right? That's what it's all about. The workshop, I didn't know I could go to different workshops. I might have thrown in something about many colors and stuff like that. But anyway, we'll talk about many colors within the same workshop. But when you read it, you hear spoken word, how do you change it to sign? The concept is what's most important. Same with written material. So can I hear an amen? Amen. Do that. If you close your prayer, the prayer you say, amen. Not amen. No, not that way. Amen. Amen. You do that because you're closing. Amen. Then you say, amen. You support that person, right? That's the bottom line. What's the concept? What does it mean? So,
I don't want to steal his light, but I need my book. I found my new Hi. Hey. Since this is the 40th anniversary, good, we got it. I thought that I might do what I did when I was invited to here about 20 years ago. Oh, you can't see that? Let me get closer. Okay. Oh, I got it. I'm good. My eyes are good. Hence this board introduction. Okay. I was here when Wink, Crom, Patrick, and the rest of you were this. This time. You're so small. Correction. We were this time. Sorry. When I started, I had no idea what to do. Yeah, see that? 20 years later, I still have no idea. Good luck. May God be with you. Oh, sorry. Come on, Peter. Oh, wait. Okay, hold on. Oh. Tell them what you'll do this weekend. Yeah, we're good. Everyone got it? Be nice. Okay. I'm watching you. Stop stalling. You only have a few seconds to go. Oh, okay. Let me get through this. My workshops will be LOL. It's at the next board. Sorry. Wait, oh, come on. Gotcha. It's at the next board, actually. This weekend, I will teach. Wait. Ooh, there's a lot. Yeah, this stuff up here. For a sweet revenge moment. Wink, Crom, and Patrick's room numbers are 815 and 17. Oh, wait, bring wine. Thank you. Thank you very much. I do not understand this. I need an interpreter. I don't understand. I need an interpreter. What does this say? Hello? My daughter, her name is Rhodey. She's 5. She wanted to let you know that she has a riddle. She said, what do you call a cow who walks just like a human? Come on, people. When this is over, I'll give you the answer. Hang on just a second. Okay, be patient. Listen, the sign said be nice, remember? So, today this went on. I had a workshop. Sign. Who took it today? You're waving? Yes, we're going to beat Bill. Yes. Thank you. I beat you. Thank you. So for the birds is today. Oh wait, this is it? Come on, who's got the how do I sign Mr. Shinyhead's brand name, Shinyhead, excuse me, correctly? VV lists. What does that mean? So there's like different variations. Another example. Come on, look it again. The next one. One more. One more. Wait, it doesn't say that. Are you looking at me? I'm interpreting, I'm not technical. I'm not. Okay, we're gonna talk about deaf history tonight. We're gonna have some trivia. Okay, this doesn't count. You gotta stop my minutes. This isn't fair. Okay, fact or fiction tonight. For example, do you know ASL recognized the language in what year? 1958. Is it true? Fact or fiction? Let's not talk about it, but come tonight and we'll discuss it. I'll give you the answer. Okay, now, you want the answer? Oh, no. I lied. Come to ASL Olio and I'll give you the answer. Mic drop. You guys can Oh, excuse me. Let me move this. Hello, I'm Jose. I've been here for 15 years and probably about the same as you guys. Crom. We landed 15 years so far. Look at the sprinkles. But anyway, let's talk about this. Remember this, the map? North, south, east, west, I don't know. I give up. That. Next. GPS, man, GPS. Oh, do you guys know who this is? Who is this? What's his name? Dumbo. ABC Stories. D. Dumbo. U. M. B. O. The trunk. Dumbo. Next. Okay. Here's my pan, right? Simon. Spraying the pan with the pan, flipping it, getting all my stuff, cracking my egg, throwing it in the trash, all along while I'm saying open the cabinet. Next. Way back in 1960, I experienced that. It was hippie, peace, and, smoking, and power to the people in love. And then closed captioning came, and I went through that. And William Stokey, went through love and PSE and CEE and all of those things. I went through that as an experience of my own, and all this evolution and all the change came into the 70s, the rehabilitation. And so, the TTY that was giant, it shook all over the place. It was this huge machine. Some of you have never seen that. So we've seen it evolve, and in the 80s, President Now, and then it evolved, and we had relay, and then we changed some more, and now we have video relay. So that. Okay. Color wizard, come see all the yellow colors. Here, that. Come see me. Bye.
Hello, I'm I'm Jim Litsky. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts. Who's here from New England? Anyone? New England? 1, 2, 3. Oh, far northeast. That's where we are. Okay, anyway, I'm going to be teaching about deaf-blind interpreting. It's an introductory level, and I'm hoping that, that you will come and see, because there's not a lot of training going on. So come and see and learn some more about working with deaf-blind individuals as an interpreter. Also, fingerspelling. I have 2. One is for beginners, one is for intermediate, and I know that, I'll be your doctor to help seamlessly fingerspell those words. I'll be your fingerspelling doctor. Also, we're going to work on numbers. Are numbers the same? There are different categories and different rules. If you don't know about those, then, come and see me. Find out about those categories and rules. Hello. I'm from the Northwest, just the opposite of what Jim said from the Northeast. I'm Julie, and I'm from New Mexico. And this is my 2nd year. I'm excited. Thank you for inviting me back. I have 2 workshops that I'm teaching. One is visualization through classifiers and through art. So we're going to be doing a lot of things. You don't have to know how to draw. That's not required for this class. We're not drawing anything. But come and learn about how to take in the explanations that are given and the visualization that's provided through classifiers and ASL. We'll use art to help us see these things as well. And we're also going to work on games. Students play a lot of games when they're learning, and so I'll give you some. This might be good for teachers or people who have ASL clubs, or you're working with school groups and that sort of thing. So we'll work on developing games and playing games and figuring out what games will be good, and also strengthen your ASL skills. And I'll be performing at the Olio as well with these gentlemen.
Hi, everyone. My name is Christopher. I always forget a lot of things, so that's my sign. Who's from Wisconsin? Wisconsin/Michigan. Anyone? Yeah, yes. Glad you made it. I'm going to be giving some workshops, understanding ABCs. For example, cowboy. That. You want more of that? Come to my workshop. I teach how to use that. That class is really important to me because it really does have rules, foundation, content, information. Most of hearing people, they have this eloquent, but, they break the rules, they make mistakes. We really want to modify and change it to own it for better description. Improv game. It applies to interpreters, the community, and education. Most people who go to improv in that moment, the interpreters break down, and improv is so sporadic and different, even though it's good and a good interpreter, but how to change that mindset to be positive instead of being stressed out and fearful of pass out possibly. Signing with signing. We tend to say, I can sign, but you still might not get it all. And how to really change it to be from English, ASL, and to make it 3D. It's a fun workshop. I have a basic and an intermediate and an advanced for really they're most similar. There's a lot of one-on-one and then empowering you. And finally, I'll be at Olio with these advanced people over here, the Southern people. Oh yeah. Sup? Hey, hi. I'm always so happy to be here. I love coming, and it's nice to see some familiar faces, so hello to everyone, and new faces too, cool. I'll be giving different levels of workshops while here. For beginners, we're gonna be chill, you and me. We're gonna sit around. We'll do some receptive training and practicing. We'll do some signing training. It'll be chill, that's it. Oh, by the way, I'm Crumb. I didn't introduce myself. Intermediate course. We'll have ASL for Geeks, Harry Potter edition. Feel free to come and let's talk about terminology and how to sign them, to talk about the world of Harry Potter. That'll be fun. ASL idioms, you know, a lot of things that we don't learn in the classroom, that we learn from the deaf community or from workshops, and how we can really just indulge in that, not just the classroom environment. It's really ASL idioms that we'll use with facial expressions and all of that. Third intermediate workshop, classifiers, wait. Go back one, do you mind? Oh yes, thank you. Classifiers. Yeah, I was right, okay. Creating classifiers is a fun workshop. It's really brainstorming, and yes, there's rules to classifiers, but it's really great to invent some fun things, right? So for advanced, we will have ASL related to Harry Potter as well, and a terminology. I don't know if Wayne can be finger spelling that or not, but I'm gonna tell you that that's the class that ran out of the seats before. It's a lot of fun, a lot of dirty words, and I know you want to learn that because you're next. Okay. Saturday night, we'll have the Olio performance. Hope to see you at the workshops, but really go to who you want to see. All the workshops are good. Do what you want to do. Thank you. Hi. Hello. I just want to let you know that this is my 8th year here, and I've really enjoyed attending all the different classes. I've counted. I care about this place. It's 8. You're like, wait, is this 4 or 5? I know, I'm 8. Anyways, so to let you know, every year, Carla voices for me. Whoop, whoop. But you've never really met her, right? So I'm going to give her the opportunity to introduce herself, and I'm going to interpret for her. Sure. Oh gosh, that's hard to do. My name is Carla. I was born and raised in Florida. I'm a CODA. I've been interpreting for, this year will be 25 years. And I do believe that I am Wink's favoriteest, most awesomest, most beautiful interpreter. The end.
I wouldn't respond, but I'm just the interpreter.
Okay, so these are my workshops. Now, oh wait. You have 1 minute left. You have 1 minute. Oh, I have 1 minute. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. Just to let you know, if you've read my descriptions in the book, it may seem a little tough, academically Englishy, but just trust that I'm going to explain everything to match those vocabularies. I will meet your needs. Lastly, I want to say the Olio. It's my favorite here because I can perform with all my good friends. Julie, Fred, and obviously Peter. Wisconsin Peter, Bald Peter, second Bald Peter, no, I'm first, and Tiny Peter, me. Bye.
I believe in Murphy's Law. I'm using the stairs, I'm not hopping up like the others. Hi, I'm Pamela Wright, and I'm from Baltimore, and I've been moving around quite a bit. I'm kind of like a grasshopper, but anyway, I'm going to talk about refugees, because I've been moving around a lot, meeting a lot of different people from different countries, speaking different languages, and I'm not a refugee, but they've asked me to share information about them. I'm not an organization person, I'm just an information person, so I'm going to talk about their status quo of refugees and immigrants. And which E is right? You know, we were talking about how do you make that finger spelling work, so I'm going to be, I did some research on that, you know, what happens with blends and all of that sort of thing. I've done some research, I put it together, and there are over 300 different examples. So if you have a question, I have the answer. So come to that class. The nonverbal markers, that's the meaning. I love to look at all of that and compare things. How do we have meaning without signs or words? I like to look at that. And, you know, some people say body language, that's great, but what else? Come on, there's more things. There's a whole list of ways that we show meaning. So we'll do a comparison of English and ASL and how nonverbal markers get out there. And also, I'm going to be doing some work on depiction. I've done some research, and I know Wink has done some too, and is going to be talking about that. But how, you know, if you're afraid to do something, I'll give you step by step how we start. And, you know, a ball can be moving. We have a ball, we have a shape of the hand. And, oh, one more thing, back to the nonverbal markers. I also call this Mike's Pizza Workshop. It has nothing to do with you, but it does have to do with this pizza workshop that I always call it. So this works great with Mike and pizza. Thank you, and this is my first time, so be nice to me. I'm so nervous about following all those other folks.
That's me.
You must have your badge to come to the Oleo.
If you have family members, friends, they can buy tickets to the registration table for $50. And Grandma's point on voice off. Class starts at 9 o'clock. Good night.